Cold War, the Cold War period. Now, who fought the Cold War? Well, the United States and the Soviet Union fought a Cold War. Now, how does one fight a Cold War? Well, you don't fight a Cold War like you fight a hot war. In a hot war, you shoot at each other. That's what makes it hot, right? Because the bullets are hot, guns are hot. We call this a hot war. The Cold War is fought in other ways. Now, we fought the Soviet Union for 50 years like this. We fought them by competing technologically, right? We're going to build better equipment, better military, arms build up this, missiles that, accelerating arm races. We fought them, technologically. We fought them economically. We fought them through surrogates. Does anyone besides the instructor know what a surrogate means? Like a surrogate mother? Surrogate? How do you want to say it?
I say surrogate.
Surrogate? You want to say surrogate?
I want to say surrogate.
Okay. What does a surrogate mean? Anybody besides Nicole, do you know what a surrogate is? Somebody that takes your place. So surrogates fighting the war, right, meant that we would not fight the Soviet Union directly in this time period, but we would support the South Vietnamese and they would support the North Vietnamese. We would support the South Koreans, they would support the North Koreans. We would support, the people that are trying to overthrow Castro, they would support Castro. So we sent troops, they sent troops, not troops. We sent arms, they sent arms. Sometimes they sent troops, sometimes we sent troops, but we didn't fight each other. We fought others that were fighting for them, or they fought others that were fighting for us. Now, the reason this kind of occurs is because in the immediate aftermath of World War II, all bets are off. The colonial possessions are no longer held by those countries, and if there is a global conflict between communism and capitalism, then the whole world is a battlefield. And so then we are posturing to convince nations and to become part of the sphere of prosperity and democracy, and the Soviets are trying to get them into the sphere of communism. And so this becomes to some extent the Cold War. Now let me just tell you one more thing, because it's really hard to talk about this without actually have talked about it in the first place. But in terms of communism, the United States was absolutely convinced for a number of reasons that in the immediate aftermath of the war, that communism was monolithic, right? Meaning that it was centered in the Soviet Union and spreading. We were convinced that communism was going to spread everywhere. And so the question became, what should we do about it? And the answer came from a guy named George Kennan. And what Kennan said was this: look, the Soviet Union, Russia, is naturally expansionistic. They will attempt to expand their influence anywhere that they can. So what should we do, according to Kennan? What Kennan argued the United States should do is adopt a policy of what he called vigilant containment. Vigilant containment. Now, dear Nicole Morrow, vigilant containment became the policy of the United States government. Vigilant containment meant this: wherever the Soviets try to extend their influence, we will attempt to stop them. Contain it. Containment is why we got into Vietnam. Containment is why we did a lot of things, because wherever communism went, because Kennan argued that if the Russians are checked, they'll back down. That they're going to try to go anywhere they can. They're like water. They're going to flow to wherever they can. But if we check them, they'll back down, and that's containment. There's so much more. Kelly Koo, there's so much more that I could say, but I can't keep you another minute. I can't keep you. I have to study your book. I can't keep you another minute. I could just keep going. But remember, Kelly, the only one that's working now...
What? It's not Afghanistan, too.
What, they're going to Afghanistan?
But the kids should leave. The kids want to leave. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Probably. The Cold War's over there, man.
I meant old Afghanistan.
Whatever.
Excuse me, Wiz. Pardon me. No.
You just press the button, right?
Yeah. You didn't didn't stop recording.
You still